Welcome to this week's Talk of the Town podcast. Here with Dunstable Town Manager Steve O'Reilly. Steve, pleasure as always, mate.
Hi, mate.
We're here for our weekly catch-up. Kempston last Saturday, Dunstable on Tuesday. A great win in the league, 3-2. I don't know how your heart rate is after that, mate. But let's get into Kempston first of all. Never easy going in, the expectation. A lot of people, even around the fans, and a lot of people are like, we're going to Kempston and win. They put on a great show, Kempston. Really good team. Even myself, I didn't really know too much about them. What's your thoughts as we sit here nearly a week later with us eventually getting the 3 points? Yeah. But boy, God, we make hard work of it.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I think that there was a different feel about it maybe than some of the other games that we've played recently where, look, I think internally amongst the squad and certainly from a management perspective, we're confident going into each and every game. But as you say, that there's probably a bit more of an expectation on us going into last Saturday to go and get a result. By no means, guaranteed to go and win any game of football at this level. But there was a different kind of feel about it. We got results recently, in the Cup against MK Irish, went away and won at Potter when they were second. Obviously, Cottfosters here the week before, who were top of the table. So, there's kind of maybe that feel, that maybe a little bit of an underdog feel type of thing, when you're playing those types of games. Whereas, as you say, the run that we've been on and, the level of performance that we've been showing maybe over the last 6 weeks or so, or maybe even a couple of months now, really, there was maybe a bit of an expectation that we'd go and get the result at Kempston on Saturday. Now, we're very pleased that we did, but we were under no illusions going into the game that it was going to be very tough. I went and watched them play, and whilst in the game that I saw them play that they didn't get a result in that game, I certainly saw that there was a lot that we'd have to be mindful of and respect in terms of what they could do going forward. And we've started really poorly in the game, and so we put ourselves in a position that we had to dig ourselves out of. I think that we responded well at times during it, but yeah, it was a different type of pressure for us. I say that something that hopefully we're going to have to get used to a little bit more, which is, the expectation that we're going to go and win games and go and pick up points. Where, because of the start that we had in the season, I think a lot of people would have looked at games against Dunstable that, and gone, well, actually, that's going to be a win for us. So we've kind of had to flip that a little bit and that mentality. But in the end, I was pleased we got the result.
Does that prove how far we've come? Me and you were sitting here, say 2-3 months ago, when we weren't maybe expected to go to a Kempston and win because the situation we were in then. Like you said, we've gone into games being underdogs. In a way, is it kind of pleasing now that people are going, oh, Dunstable will go there and win? That's good and bad because, you don't want that to get into the players, but from where me and you were 3 months ago when we were having these chats, it proves how far we've come as a team.
Yeah, it does, and we were talking about it actually on the sideline on Saturday, which is that, that hopefully the evolution of, the team and what we're trying to do here has now kind of evolved and moved forward, which means actually, we're going to be in those types of games, and the pressure that the players might feel, as well as us and as management, we can't deny that, which is, we've got to be doing better here. Why is this not working out for us? Why is this not happening? Because, like you say, there is that then, expectation that you would go and get a result against Kempston. Now, I remember saying to you, last Saturday after the Cottfosters game, and we certainly spoke about it amongst the group, which was they were only just behind us in the league. So, there's a lot of catching up that I feel like we've needed to do, obviously, with the start that we had and 6 defeats to start, which is, put us in a very difficult position. And we haven't cracked anything yet. We're almost, just starting to get into a run of form, which I would have expected us to be at, and, want us to kind of maintain. But that is going to be completely different now for the players. And, they're going to have to go through those moments and understand that, okay, teams now are going to set up in ways to try and stop us from being able to play, and where early in the season they might have looked at it as gone, right, go and get after Dunstable and, we can go and get results there, and they're not, they're not informed, their confidence is not going to be there. Now we're going to be coming up against teams that are going to have a plan at how they're going to play against us. They're going to have watched us, they're going to kind of, probably show us a bit more respect in terms of knowing, well, actually, no, this is not just going to be an easy 3 points. So all of that adds up to those types of games being different types of challenges. But what's really good for us, and as much as, I'd want us to just be able to rock up against Kempston and, any team in the league and just put on a fantastic performance from minute 0 to minute 90, that's not going to happen. But what I do want to be able to see is, okay, how can we problem solve in those situations? How can we deal with going a goal down early? How can we deal with conceding a 90th minute goal? And the lads showed me really positive things in terms of that.
Is this in a way where it's good from us to have you here, because you haven't long hung up the boots, shall we say. So you kind of understand player mentality of, oh yeah, we should go here and win. But now with your managerial head on, can you flip it to both sides of the equation? Because I spoke to some of the lads before Kempston, I spoke to some of them after it, and even they were like, oh, maybe we did get a little bit carried away, not in a bad way, but they thought, oh, we're on a good run of form. Like you say, Potten, we played really well. We played well against Cockfosters. Is that kind of good, because you still kind of do understand the player mentality, but you can switch it to be the manager as well?
Yeah, I hope so. Look, I mean, I think it probably still helps in order to be able to put yourselves in, like say, in their frame of mind. But I think that more so really it is just about myself and the management team, and everyone who's involved around the club, all the way from a Thursday or Tuesday, whenever we're preparing for a game, that we do it in a way that's consistent no matter who the opposition is that we're coming up against, and that we don't cut any corners depending on where a team is in the league, and we don't overemphasise necessarily when we're playing a team at the top, and we don't take our foot off the gas when we're playing against a team that may be near the bottom. That's you just can't do that. And for the players, I say I definitely didn't see. There's nothing that I saw from that group which was about complacency. And we've got nothing to be complacent about. We're 14th in the league, so there's nothing for us to be kind of getting carried away on. But it is, or maybe it's just that different element of pressure. It's a different expectation, and in an odd way, when we'd lost those games at the start of the season, look, no doubt about it, there was pressure certainly on ourselves to try and get results, and I understood that, but it was almost that from a player's perspective then, it was kind of like the shackles were off a little bit, and like I say, no one expects you to come and get anything, and you can kind of ride that underdog mentality a little bit, whereas now that's gone. That mindset for us has gone, I think, really. As I said, that we're preparing every game with full expectation that we can go and get a result, but that does then put a different element of pressure onto the players, and there's no hiding that. And Liam will always say to me, and says that like pressure's a privilege. We want expectation. We want people to look at it and go, oh, Dunstable are going to win. We want people to come here on Saturday and look at the game, and we know it's going to be a very tough game on Saturday against Winslow, but we want people to come here going, I think Dunstable can go and win today, because that's what we want. We want people to be excited about what we can do. But that definitely brings a different element of pressure for the players, and our job then as the management and as well as the senior players on the pitch is to go, okay, that is going to come, but the way that we're going to get the results is still by being consistent in terms of what we do and doing the right things on the pitch.
How pleasing was it on Saturday? One of your mantras is always, I'm in the change room with you guys every game pretty much, and one of your mantras is we never stop. We keep going till the end. To go 2-2 in like the 90-something minute and then win it in the 96th minute, how pleasing was that for you to see as a manager, these group of players, they won't give up, because it would have been very easy at 2-2 to go, oh my God, it's the 92nd minute that went 2-2, and you're just looking around at us, at fans and everyone, you're like, oh my God, and then you blink and we've won it. So how pleasing is that for you, that your mantra of never give up is into these lads? Yeah,
I think so, and I think it's just, so I think it's probably testament to the work that these boys have done. Look, they're the ones who go out and do it, and I think that belief's a big word that comes into that. And we talk about kind of we don't really lose, we run out of time. It's just like if we keep going back to it, we can go and do it. I'd rather us play, to go and got the third goal much earlier in that game, because I think that in the second half we probably could have done based on our performance, and it would have killed it. So I'd much rather that. But as I said, to have seen that other side of us, and that I know that anyone who's been here and watches games, we've been on the other end of it, a couple of times. And I think of the Bulldog game back here, in August, where we played really well through the game and conceded in the 90th plus minute or whatever it was at that stage. And they can be really difficult and they can be body blows. And so to be on the other side of it is really positive. I think another aspect of it, which was really pleasing for me, which was the impact of the substitutes, and I think that we're really now starting to see the depth of the squad that we've got, the quality that we've got, not just in the starting 11, not just in the 16, but the 21, 22, 23 players that we've got in the group. And I think that's important as well. Joe Hankins comes off the bench and plays the pass that sets Luca up. Joe's been in and out this season, obviously had a couple of different injuries through the season so far. But then to be able to call on a player of that quality and that experience at this level, to be able to come on and impact a game is really important. And then you look at Liam, who we've added into the group, and Frankie coming off the bench, and JJ has played a lot of minutes for us this season, and there's someone else that I'm missing from last Saturday as well. But like I say, to have that quality and that depth as well does make a big difference. The ability to be able to, essentially, when you've got 5 subs, you can change half your outfield players in a game. If you've got those lads who are hungry and fit and ready, they can impact the game all the way through. So the attitude's an important one, and the belief that you can go and get a result, but then also having that quality that we can draw on from the bench is important as well.
Yeah, no, well said, mate. Fast forwarding to Tuesday, Leighton Town in the Cup. The most cliche thing ever is it's a game of two halves. That really was on Tuesday. And speaking to some of my friends who are Leighton Town fans, and they even mentioned to us that they watch everything that we do. So big shout out to them. Thanks for watching. But we could have easily been 2 or 3 up at half time at the Leighton Town game. And again, that's testament to where we are now as a football club. Because if we had played them 4 months ago, I don't think we would have been where we are as a team. It's credit to you and the boys. How do you view Tuesday? I know I interviewed you after the game as we're sitting there like 48 hours after. How have you viewed watching back the game? Because I was fortunate enough I was chatting to Luca in the car today. I gave him a lift down, and even he was saying the chances that he had in the first half. You know what I mean? And the players realised that, wow, we could have gone in 2 or 3 up. And that wouldn't have been a misjustice, because I thought we were tremendous in the first half. And I think most Leighton Town fans will even say that. And yep, they come out in the second half. Full credit to Leighton. They got the 2-0 win. They did play well in the second half. We dropped off. How are you feeling as we sit here 48 hours after the Leighton game?
Yeah, the emotions are still the same a little bit. It's a game that I wanted to win. You know, we put a strong team out. Yeah, we made a few changes, and there was a few lads that came in, as I said, who there's no drop in the quality, but maybe haven't played the minutes as much as others had. But as you said, I think certainly, you know, that first half, particularly that opening half an hour, was really good. You know, and I thought that we mixed the game up well, but we went and played and imposed ourselves on the game and played with real bravery, real quality. And yeah, the thing that was missing were the goals in that moment. As you mentioned about Luca, you know, he's put those chances away for us this season, and just in that moment, you know, in that game that he didn't. But it wasn't just him; we had created other opportunities as well. So that was really pleasing. And you know, let's say, you know, I know they made some changes to the team, but I went and watched them at Kidlington a couple of Wednesdays ago, and you know, 7 of that team were in that 11 there, and a lot of the defensive players were. And I felt that we showed at times that with the quality that we do have, we can open up teams, and some of the football was really good in that way. As I said, it wasn't just about playing out from the back, and you know, we mixed the game up as well. We threatened in behind, but it was a good lesson for us that says, you know, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net in those moments where you are on top and you are creating chances, because you know, we talk a lot about shape and patterns and different movement and all those types of things, but a lot of time it just comes down to what happens between the 2 boxes, you know, in the boxes, and you know, we just didn't quite put our chances away, and there were just little bits of, you know, quality that we just missed. And I say they weren't, you know, you can't even just level that. You know, that's going to happen in games. That is going to happen, but we just didn't do it. And then in the second half, you know, I didn't feel like we really got started in the way that we needed to. They pressed higher up the pitch. We didn't quite have the solutions in terms of how we needed to break their press and the different options that we had. I also felt there was an element, as I said, of lads who'd been playing, you know, who hadn't played a lot of minutes, that were kind of maybe didn't quite get going in the second half for us. And that's through no fault of their own. That's just the nature of when you haven't played a lot of football for a while. You know, to restart again, the second half can be quite difficult. And I think the disappointment for me was, you know, we made some subs around the 60-minute mark. We just kind of got back on, you know, into a little bit of control. We conceded a really poor goal, you know, from a direct ball over the top. And, you know, these are all just good lessons for us, really, that say, you know, if you don't take your moments and then if you just switch off, you know, and it was a fantastic goal, their opening goal from finish from the edge of the area, that, you know, decent teams at this level are gonna punish you. So, you know, I was pleased by a lot of what I saw. I think, as you say, we gave a good account of ourselves, and I think that we showed ourselves, but a lot of people, what we can do when we're going and when we're flowing and when the confidence is high and the football's good. But then there's also a good reminder for us internally that says we're not a finished article by any stretch of imagination. You know, because we've picked up some good results or we've played, you know, had some good performances. You know, it doesn't automatically mean that equals a result each time. You still have to, you know, say the work rate was absolutely there on Tuesday night, but you still need to have those bits of quality. You still need to play with some good game management. You know, you need to, when you come up against teams that have got good experience, you need to be able to mix your game up at different points. And I just felt that maybe in the second half we didn't do that quite well as we needed to. But you know, watching the game back as well, you know, it would have been easy after the second goal. You know, I don't know how long was left at that stage, 10 minutes or so.
15 minutes,
you know, it would have been quite easy. You know, and we've seen ourselves early in the season, a different version of ourselves early in the season, where we might have capitulated a little bit or gone and conceded a third or a fourth. We didn't do that, and actually we got back on the front foot and we played a purpose, and we still tried to go and get the goal. and try and make it a difficult ending to the game. So, those bits are pleasing. Look, we've got minutes into lads' legs, but I say I want to win every game of football, and I felt that we could have gone there and got a result, but you're right there. I had no complaints in terms of the final score, but yeah, look, good for us in terms of seeing the positives, but definitely some lessons that we want to learn going forward. Yeah,
just finishing up, Steve, you mentioned there different versions of ourselves. We played Winslow's second game of the season. We've got them this coming Saturday. How different does the Dunstable town feel now to when we were at the second game of the season, and what you're expecting this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. It's definitely a different version. There's different players, obviously, and they bring different skills, and that we've added quality and experience in areas that we need to. But then, just as much as that, and as important for me, is those players that have been with us since then. You've seen an evolution in them and in terms of what they can bring for us and the qualities that they've got. So, yeah, look, we're a different team, and I think we are, a better team than we were back then. The league table says that, and our results have said that. But when we cross the white line again on Saturday afternoon, it's going to be 0-0, and we're going to have to go out there and go and perform again. We know we're going to be in for a real test. They're a good team. They've got really good experience at this level. So we're going to need to play up to our best to be able to go and get a result. We need to get a home win. We've ticked off lots of boxes recently. In the league, we haven't got a home win. Good performance last time out against Cockfosters and a good point. But we want to get that home win. Obviously, the fans and the support that we get is fantastic. So that's a big thing for us. But yeah, look, I think that we're a better team than we were then. But look, last weekend showed, that if we take anything for granted, or if we think that, just by being a better team now means we're going to get results, we'll come unstuck. It'll be about, when we start our training session tonight, being switched on and focused, taking on board everything that the coaches are providing for these boys and how we're going to set up for Saturday, and then going into Saturday and going and perform.
Well, Steve, I will catch you on Saturday, mate. We'll do our post game, but as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.